This video is sponsored by Nikon. We are on the beach again, and that can only mean one thing. There is a new camera. This is Nikon Z6 III. It is a 24.5 megapixel full frame sensor camera that has world's first partially stacked sensor. What that means is this brings in the readout speeds of the stacked sensor with the affordability of the SI sensor. This video is sponsored by Nikon. They're right here. And I'm going to talk about my first impressions about this camera. So let's go. This can shoot videos up to 6K, 60 frames per second, 12-bit NRAW internally. What that means is you don't need an external monitor or recorder or anything like that to record that. Also, you can record 6K, 30 frames per second ProRes RAW, once again internally, to this camera, which gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to editing, when it comes to cropping. And having that internally means you only carry this camera. You don't need anything else with you. When it comes to 4K, you can record up to 4K 120 frames per second with an APS-C crop, but anything below that, 4K 60 and anything below that, there is no crop. Of course, you can record H.264 or H.265. The 4K is oversampled from 6K. What that means is you're gonna get better looking image, lower noise. Of course, when it comes to log modes, you can record in N-Log. And even if you want it, you can go back and record in 8-bit. Gives you the option to go back and record in 8-bit. If that's your thing, no one's judging it. You do you. In full HD mode, you get up to 240 frames per second with only 5% crop, which is great if you wanna shoot on social. HD is great, and 240 frames per second is actually a really nicely slowed down footage. It can look really impressive on Instagram or TikTok or, social media like that. All right, now let's do the autofocus test. For this, we have our subject here, and then she's gonna come in and out of the frame, go out of the frame, and then let's see what this baby can do. It's locked on your face and on your eye with the sunglasses. Sunglasses off, great, we're doing great. Oh, nice, nice, nice. What if you duck down and come back up? Yep. Yep. When she covers one of her eyes, the eye autofocus snaps to the other eye. Close the other one, and it snaps to the other one. Just like that. It's really good. And the other one. Dude, that's amazing. Yeah. So in photo mode, you can shoot up to 120 frames per second with autofocus and auto exposure. What that means is when you start shooting something, and if that thing moves around, or if you move around, or if the light changes, this camera adapts at exactly that amount of time. So every shot is in focus, and the exposure, if it's set to auto, is adjusted accordingly. The only thing is, in 120 frames per second burst photo mode, this shoots in APS-C crop mode, but anything below that, like 60 frames per second, there is no crop. Of course, it has electronic and mechanical shutter, and it has 8-stop in-body image stabilization. Also in photo mode, this camera has a function called pre-release capture. What that does is when you hold the shutter button halfway down, starts buffering up to 120 frames per second, and when you click the shutter button, it records from almost 1 second prior to the second you click the shutter button. What that means is if you're waiting for a lightning, if you're waiting for a bird to take off, if you're waiting for that something's going to happen really quickly, you can catch that with this feature. Hold on, wait.
I got 30 rings.
Wait. Now I'm going to try the pre-capture mode in 120 frames per second. As you can see, my wife is here. She's going to try to throw the rings into the bottles. And let's see if we can catch what's going on. Hold on, hold on. You gotta do it, come on. One nice thing this camera has is the variable LCD screen. So now if you want to vlog, you can vlog. Okay, right now I'm vlogging with Z6 III. I mean, we have the 24-70 lens on it with the stabilization turned on. This is handheld. Of course, this setup is a little heavy for vlogging like this, but as far as I can see, everything's working fine. I wonder how the audio is. I want to change my arm a little bit. But yeah, this thing is working great. We are at Santa Monica Beach on the Santa Monica Pier. It's a gorgeous day. It started gloomy, but now it opened up. There's a lot of people around, which is, you know, when you're under NDA, very challenging, but I guess we're pulling through, you know, we're making things happen. Yeah, I love that we have the flip out screen that I can see myself, I can frame myself as I want. Oh yes. Wow, I'm really good at this with one hand. The EVF on this camera goes up to 4000 nits, which is plenty bright. I just set the viewfinder brightness to 8. It goes up to high 2. And this thing looks really good. Really bright. When it comes to autofocus, this is 20% faster than the previous generation, and it autofocuses at -10 EV, which is fantastic. This camera also has advanced auto detection. What that means is, just like Z9 or Z8, it can detect humans, animals, vehicles, humans on animals, human on a bicycle, trains, planes, and similar stuff. Oh, beauty shots I see. It has the same battery that we know from Z8. Let's look at the camera itself. As you can see, this is Nikon's design language is happening here as well. We have the on-off switch here. We have our dials, and then the D-pad joystick, the switch between video and photo mode, electronic viewfinder switch. And on this side, we have the microphone in, we have the headphone out, and over here, we have the USB-C in, which supports PD. What that means is you can power up this camera while you're shooting. We have the full HDMI, we have the sync port. And over here we have a CS Express slot and SD card slot. But there's no redundant recording. You can record at one card at a time. If you want redundant recording, then you need to use something like an Atomos Ninja. The grip feels really nice in hand when you're walking around. This just sits in your hand, and I've been walking around for a couple of hours now. Yeah, for 2 hours. And it doesn't get heavy. It's not trying to get out of your hand. The grip is nice and it's not slippery. There's this part over here that just sits where your thumb is. It's very comfortable camera to hold in hand without any strap or anything. It doesn't feel like it's just gonna come out of your hand and fall off. And it feels really sturdy too. We just did an autofocus test with 50mm f1.2 because, you know, why not? Because we can. And it was like a dream sequence, especially when I asked my wife to run towards me. It caught up with it at 1.2, 60 frames per second in 6K. It caught up with it, and it lost a little bit afterwards. But come on, it looks unreal. It looks like butter. I will do it. I will do it again. Shall we do it again? I think we should do it again. So autofocus caught up this time, even better than the last time. The funny thing is her hat is kind of covering her eye, and the square is just locking onto her eye still. At 1.2, 6K, 60 frames per second. What else do you want? What else? It doesn't matter where you are anymore at 1.2 anyway, so, you know. So that happened. First impressions, of course. I've been using this camera for, I don't know, 3 hours by now? Yeah, almost 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I really like Z8 and Z9. I think they're fantastic cameras. And this doesn't feel anything less than that so far, but it is smaller, it's more manageable, and I'm kind of enjoying it. It's not a joke. Nikon is not playing around. They're bringing it. They also bought this startup company called Blue. Was it Blue? What did you guys buy? What did you guys buy? Blue?
Red.
Red. Whatever that is. They bought them. So I don't know what the future holds, but yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's not disappointing. It's not getting me to find ways around how to make this camera work. This camera is just working, even though this is a pre-production one. It's going really well. Well, thank you very much for watching this showcase, and thank you very much Nikon for sponsoring this video. Please let me know what you think about Z6 III in the comment section below. Is this something you're interested in? Is this something you want to pick up and check out? Let me know. And until I see you the next time, take really good care of yourselves and hoşça kalın. Bird! Bird! Got it. No biggie.